everyone. The title of this vlog is The Checklist. What's a checklist? Checklist is physical, mental, emotional, and psychological framework or conclusions which all of us, majority of us, function on. And this checklist is usually imprinted unconsciously. This checklist has factors and parameters, and it has numbers, so it has priorities, it has value and weight. Each parameter in a checklist will always have a conceptual definition going with it. And depending on that conceptual definition and the value and weight of a particular subject in that checklist, a person responds, reacts, or behaves, thinks or feels and experiences life at large. This checklist can have almost anything under the sun. This checklist may differ from people to people, personalities to personalities, and individualities to individualities. Majority of us do not know that we function on a checklist. Why? Because it is imprinted unconsciously. If we want to go beyond the checklist, we have to identify the checklist first. We have to identify the subjects, parameters, or factors in the checklist. And we also have to identify the conceptual definition which we are processing that subject on in our lives. Only then there is a possibility that one can go beyond the checklist with choices. As I said, there is nothing wrong having a checklist. It's completely human, it's completely normal. Now, all of us believe, all of us think, all of us feel, and all of us believe in terms of our behavioral values as well, how we behave, that our checklist is most authentic, correct, true, amazing, extraordinary, factual, divine, and so on. A lot of good names can be added to that checklist. The point of concern is that if our checklist is absolutely fine, after going into that checklist, does it help us to be better in terms of health, physical health, mental health, psychological health, emotional health, and health at large is the concern. The question is not about the checklist. The question is that after being satisfied with the checklist, with the number the person is suggesting to be satisfied with, does the checklist change? Is the question. So for an example, someone is a very dominating personality. After getting opportunities of domination or dominating somebody for, let's say, 100 times, does the checklist of dominating change? Let's say somebody is very vulnerable all the time. After being vulnerable for, let's say, 1,000 times, does your checklist change? Somebody loves to look very attractive. All of us would want to do that. Who would not? Now, the question and the concern, as I said, is that after we have looked attractive 1,000 times respectively, does our definition, does our checklist of attraction, does our importance, value, and weight of attraction change? Is the question. If yes, I'm sure it will be very much visible in our lives. And if it is no, then we are inviting a mess, because we are framing a checklist. That checklist is functioning on our will, our wish, need, and desire. But that checklist is not helping us anywhere. Our checklist is not changing. It's completely fine to have a checklist for a lot of things to begin with. But after we have begun something, went into it exactly the way our checklist wanted, needed, and desired, but even after going into it, whatever it is under the sun, our checklist is not changing. We wanted care. Care was part of our checklist. We wanted warmth. We wanted love. We wanted acceptance. All of these things was part of our checklist. We started getting all of these exactly how our checklist was framed. But after going into all of these, after receiving all of these for 1,000 times or more, our checklist does not change. Our care, warmth, need, desire, acceptance does not change. Self-reflect and see if your checklist is changing or not.